All right, guys, welcome back. We are going to start Act 3 today. So we're on page 45, Act 3, Scene 1. The senators and Caesar have arrived at the Capitol. It is that fateful day, of course. It is the Ides of March, which the soothsayer has warned Caesar about. And we'll go ahead and get started here. The Ides of March are come. Aye, Caesar, but not gone. Hail, Caesar, read this schedule. Trebonius does desire you to o'erread at your best leisure this his humble suit. O Caesar, read mine first, for mine's a suit that touches Caesar nearer. Read it, great Caesar. What touches us ourselves shall be last served. Delay not, Caesar, read it instantly. What, is this fellow mad? Sir, give place. What, urge you your petitions in the street? Come to the Capitol. I wish your enterprise today may thrive. What enterprise, Popilius? Fare you well. What said Popilius, Lena? You wish today our enterprise may thrive. I fear our purpose is discovered. Look how he makes to Caesar. Mark him. Casca, be sudden, for we fear prevention. Brutus, what shall be done? If this be known, Cassius or Caesar ne'er shall turn back, for I will slay myself. Cassius, be constant. Popilius Lena speaks not of our purposes, for look, he smiles, and Caesar does not change. Trebonius knows his time, for look you, Brutus, he draws Mark Antony out of the way. Where is Metellus Cimber? Let him go, and presently prefer his suit to Caesar. He is addressed, press near and second him. Casca, you are the first that rears your hand. Are we all ready? What is now amiss that Caesar and his senate must redress? Most high, most mighty, and most puissant Caesar, Metellus Cimber throws before thy seat and humble heart. I must prevent you, Cimber. These couchings and these lowly courtesies might fire the blood of ordinary men, and turn preordinance and first decree into the law of children. Be not fond to think that Caesar bears such rebel blood that will be thawed from the true quality with that which melteth fools. I mean street words, low crooked curtsies, and base spaniel fawning. Your brother is by decree banished. If you do bend and pray and fawn for him, I spurn thee like a cur out of my way. No, Caesar does not wrong, nor without cause will he be satisfied. Is there no voice more worthy than my own, to sound more sweetly in great Caesar's ear, for the repealing of my banished brother? I kiss your hand, but not in flattery, Caesar, desiring thee that Publius Cimber may have an immediate freedom of repeal. What, Brutus? Pardon, Caesar, Caesar, pardon. As low as to your foot does Cassius fall, to beg enfranchisement for Publius Cimber. I could be well moved if I were as you. If I could pray to move, prayers would move me. If I am constant as the northern star, of whose true fixed and resting quality there is no fellow in the firmament, the skies are painted with unnumbered sparks, they are all fire, and every one does shine. But there's but one in all does hold his place, so in the world 'tis furnished well with men, and men are flesh and blood and apprehensive. Yet in the number I do know but one that unassailable holds on his rank, unshaked of motion, and that I am he. Let me a little show it, even in this, that I was constant, Cimber should be banished, and constant do remain to keep him so. O Caesar, hence, will you lift up Olympus? Great Caesar, does not Brutus bootless kneel? Speak, hands, for me! Et tu, Brute? Then fall, Caesar. Liberty! Freedom! Tyranny is dead! Run hence, proclaim, cry it about the streets. Cassius, some to the common pulpits and cry out, Liberty, freedom, and enfranchisement. People and senators, be not affrighted. Fly not, stand still. Ambition's debt is paid. Go to the pulpit, Brutus, and Cassius too. Where is Publius? Here, quite confounded with this mutiny. Stand fast together, lest some friend of Caesar should chance. Talk not of standing, Publius. Good cheer, there is no harm intended to your person, nor to no Roman else. So tell them, Publius. And leave us, Publius, lest that the people, rushing on us, should do your aid some mischief. Do so, and let no man abide this deed, but we the doers. Where is Antony? Fled to his house, amazed. Men, wives, and children stare, cry out, and run as if it were doomsday. Fates, we will know your pleasures. That we shall die, we know, 'tis but the time, and drawing days out that men stand upon. Why, he that cuts off 20 years of life cuts off so many years of fearing death. Grant that, and then is death a benefit. So are we Caesar's friends that have abridged his time of fearing death. Stoop, Romans, stoop, and let us bathe our hands in Caesar's blood up to the elbows, and besmear our swords. Then walk we forth, even to the marketplace, waving our red weapons o'er our heads. Let's all cry, Peace, freedom, liberty. Stoop then and wash. How many ages hence shall this our lofty scene be acted o'er in states unborn and accents yet unknown? How many times shall Caesar bleed in sport that now on Pompey's basis lies along no worthier than the dust? So oft as that shall be, so often shall the knot of us be called, that men gave their country liberty. What, shall we forth? Aye, every man away. Brutus shall lead, and we will grace his heels with the most boldest and best arts of Rome. Soft, who comes here? A friend of Antony's. Thus, Brutus, did my master bid me kneel. Thus did Mark Antony bid me fall down, and being prostrate, thus he bade me say, Brutus is noble, wise, valiant, and honest. Caesar was mighty, bold, royal, and loving. Say I love Brutus, and I honor him. Say I feared Caesar, honored him, and loved him. If Brutus will vouchsafe, then Antony may safely come to him and be resolved. How Caesar has deserved to lie in death. Mark Antony shall not love Caesar dead so well as Brutus living, but will follow the fortunes and affairs of noble Brutus through the hazards of this untrod state, with all true faith. So says my master Antony. Your master is a wise and valiant Roman. I never thought him worse. Tell him, so please him come unto this place. He shall be satisfied, and by my honor depart untouched. I'll fetch him presently. I know that we shall have him well to friend. I wish we may, but yet have I a mind that fears him much, and my misgiving still falls shrewdly to the purpose. But here comes Antony. Welcome, Mark Antony. Oh, mighty Caesar, do you lie so low? Are all the conquests, glories, triumphs, spoils, shrunk to this little measure? Fare you well. I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. Who else must be let blood? Who else is ranked? If I myself, there is no hour so fit as Caesar's death's hour, nor so no instrument of hath that worth as those your swords, made rich with the most noble blood of all this world. I do beseech you, if you bear me hard, now, while your purpled hands do reek and smoke, fulfill your pleasure. Live 1,000 years. I shall not find myself so apt to die. No place will please me so, no mean of death, as here by Caesar, and by you cut off, the choice and master spirits of this age. Oh, Antony, Beg not your death of us, though now we must appear bloody and cruel, as by our hands and this our present act. You see we do. Yet see you but our hands, and this the bleeding business they have done. Our hearts you see not, they are pitiful, and pity to the general wrong of Rome. As fire drives out fire, so pity, has done this deed on Caesar. For your part, to you our swords have leaden point, Mark Antony, our arms in strength of malice, and our hearts of brother's temper, do receive you and with all kind of love, good thoughts, and reverence. Your voice shall be as strong as any man's in the disposing of new dignities. Only be patient till we have appeased the multitude, beside themselves with fear, and then we will deliver you the cause, why I, that did love Caesar when I struck him, have thus proceeded. I doubt not of your wisdom. Let each man render me his bloody hand. First, Marcus Brutus will I shake with you. Next, Caius Cassius, do I take your hand. Now, Decius Brutus, yours. Now yours, Metellus. Yours, Cinna, and my valiant Casca, yours. Though last, not least in love, yours, good Trebonius. Gentlemen all, alas, what shall I say? My credit now stands on such slippery ground, that one of two bad ways you must conceit me, either a coward or a flatterer. That I did love you, Caesar, oh, 'tis true. If then your spirit look upon us now, shall it not grieve you dearer than thy death, to see your Antony making his peace, shaking the bloody fingers of your foes, most noble, in the presence of your corpse? Had I as many eyes as you have wounds, weeping as fast as they stream forth your blood, it would become me better than to close in terms of friendship with your enemies. Pardon me, Julius. Here, wash thou bade, brave heart. Here did you fall, and here your hunters stand, signed in your spoil, and crimsoned in your lethe. O world, you was the forest to this heart, and this indeed, O world, the heart of thee. How like a deer strucken by many princes do you lie. Mark Antony, pardon me, Caius Cassius. The enemies of Caesar shall say this. Then, in a friend, it is cold modesty. I blame you not for praising Caesar so, but what compact mean you to have with us? Will you be pricked in number of our friends, or shall we on and not depend on you? Therefore I took your hands, but was indeed swayed from the point by looking down on Caesar. Friends am I with all of you, and love you all, upon this hope that you shall give me reasons, why and wherein Caesar was dangerous. Or else were this a savage spectacle. Our reasons are so full of good regard, that were you, Antony, the son of Caesar, you should be satisfied. That's all I seek, and moreover, suitor that I may produce his body to the marketplace, and in the pulpit, as becomes his friend, speak in the order of his funeral. You shall, Mark Antony. Brutus, a word with you. You do not know what you do. Do not consent that Antony speak at his funeral. Know you how much the people may be moved by that which he will utter? By your pardon, I will myself into the pulpit first, and show the reason of our Caesar's death. What Antony shall speak, I will protest he speaks by leave and by permission, and that we are contented that Caesar shall have all true rights and lawful ceremonies. It shall advantage more than do us wrong. I know not what may fall, I like it not. Mark Antony, here, take you Caesar's body. You shall not in your funeral speech blame us, but speak all good you can devise of Caesar, and say you do it by our permission, else shall you not have any hand at all about his funeral. And you shall speak in the same pulpit whereto I am going, after my speech is ended. Be it so, I do desire no more. Prepare the body, then, and follow us. Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. You are the ruins of the noblest man that ever lived in the tide of times. Woe to the hand that shed this costly blood. Over your wounds do I now prophesy, which like dumb mouths do ope their ruby lips to beg the voice and utterance of my tongue. A curse shall light upon the limbs of men. Domestic fury and fierce civil strife shall cumber all the parts of Italy. Blood and destruction shall be so in use, and dreadful objects so familiar, that mothers shall but smile when they behold their infants quartered with the hands of war. All pity choked with custom of fell deeds, and Caesar's spirit ranging for revenge, with Ate by his side come hot from hell, shall in these confines with a monarch's voice cry havoc, and let slip the dogs of war, that this foul deed shall smell above the earth what carrion men groaning for burial. You serve Octavius Caesar, do you not? I do, Mark Antony. Caesar did right for him to come to Rome. He did receive his letters and is coming, and bid me say to you by word of mouth, Oh, Caesar! Your heart is big. Get you apart and weep. Passion I see is catching, for mine eyes, seeing those beads of sorrow stand in thine, begin to water. Is your master coming? He lies tonight within 7 leagues of Rome. Post back with speed and tell him what has happened. Here is a mourning Rome, a dangerous Rome. No Rome of safety for Octavius yet. Hie hence, and tell him so. Yet stay a while. You shall not back till I have borne this corpse into the marketplace. There shall I try, in my oration, how the people take the cruel issue of these bloody men, according to the which you shall discourse to young Octavius of the state of things. Lend me your hand. So what has happened at the very end of this scene is that Antony asked for a couple things. He wanted to take Caesar's body into the common pulpit. The pulpit is where the senators would give speeches, where the commoners could listen. So Antony wanted Caesar's body to be on display, and Antony also wanted to be able to speak at Caesar's funeral. Cassius was against this because he said, we don't know what Antony is going to say, but Brutus overruled him, and he said, look, I'm going to speak first. Of course, Brutus is showing his arrogance because he thinks that he can just sway the crowd and say that anything that Antony is going to say is going to be null and void. And this is going to set up the next scene, which is a very famous scene, these 2 funeral orations. Brutus is going to speak, and then Antony is going to speak, and we're going to decide. These are 2 very famous pieces of oration, and we're going to decide who is more effective. Okay, we'll see you again.